Packet Tracer is a basic router configuration using CLI. The objective is to use the CLI to perform basic router configurations and verify configurations and connectivity. The first thing we have to do is to configure the device on the main office. So you have to click on CLI, have to start enable, and have to configure terminal, and assign the host name, main office, and you have to control Z. With the main office, you have to running config start up config command. And now I assigned a host name for the main office router, and this time I have to assign a host name for the router room site 1. So what I'm gonna do, I have to enable it and type configure terminal, and the host name, to name a host, it's room RMT site 1, and have to control Z and have to type running config start up config command. And so that's it. So now I have to configure the router interface on the main office router by entering the configure terminal command, and have to set the interface serial 0-1.0 and enter. Control C here. And I have to re-enter it. Interface serial 0-1.0 and type an IP address 192.168.1 255.255.255.255, and have to set the clock rate 64,000 and type no shutdown and type exit. And so I have to configure the fast Ethernet interface on the main office router. So I have to enter get started. The main office, I have to type configure terminal. Windows first, configure terminal. And now on the interface fast Ethernet 0. Then I have to type IP address 192.168.2.1 and the subnet mask 55.255.255 and 0. Enter and type no shutdown. I have to control Z to set the by console configuration and type copy running config start up config. Now that's I configure the fast Ethernet interface on the main site router, and now I have to set the configuration of the serial interface for the room site router. What I'm gonna do here is configure terminal. Oops, wrong spelling. And now on the configuration, have to type C, control C Now in the configures mode, I have to type interface serial 010 and type the IP address of 192.168.1.2 and subnet mask 255.255.255.252. Enter and no shutdown and exit. Let's exit it. Now I have to configure its fast Ethernet interface on the side router here by typing the interface fast Ethernet 0.0 and on the interface configuration I have to type IP address of 192.168.3.1 subnet mask 255.255.0 and have to type no shutdown and Control Z and have to type copy running config start up config there and okay, that's how I configure it. And now I have to configure our IP routing protocol on the main office. Have to do is have to enter the following commands: configure terminal, configure it, and have to type router rip and version 2 and network 192.168.1.0 and network 192.168.2.0. Now I have to type Control Z to return to the main office and type copy running config start up config, and that's how I configure the RIP version 2 in the main office router. And now this time I have to configure the RIP version 2 on room site 1 router. So first thing I have to do on the CLI command is I have to type configure terminal and have to type router rip and have type version 2 and type the network address 192.168.1.0 and network 192.168.3.0 and Control A to return to the console and type copy running config start up config, and now that's how I set up the configuration RIP version 2 on the router of roam site 1. Now I have to configure the enable console and BTY password in the main office. What I'm gonna do first is enter into global configuration. What I have to do is configure terminal and enable secret Cisco 123 and line console 0 to set it to 0 and password class login exit and line VTY 004 and password class enter login and Control C and type copy running config start up config command and type enter. And so I also have to configure and enable console and VTY passwords on website router. Here, what I have to do here is configure terminal. And enable secret Cisco 123 and line console 0 password class login exit VTY 04 and password class I'll have to line VTY 04 and enter. In that command, I have to type password class login and Control-C to configure console by console, and now have running config start up config. So that's how I configured or console and VTY password. Now I have to verify the configuration activity, so I have to close this. I have to check the result. It's not done yet. And I ping the PC1 to PC0, and that successfully it pinged successfully. And I trace the network path from PC0 to PC1 from the command prompt on PC0 and through this tracer command, and these are the results.